When we think of dinosaurs, our minds immediately go to Hollywood blockbusters. Because of this, paleontology spends a huge amount of time debunking pop culture myths. We've all heard them by now. The T-Rex couldn't see you if you didn't move, or all dinosaurs were just giant, scaly green lizards. Clearing up these inaccuracies is a favorite internet pastime. But this raises a much more fascinating question. What about the statements that sound like absolute lies, but are actually 100% scientifically accurate? The history of these incredible archosaurs is so vast and complex that the truth often sounds far more impossible than the fiction. Today, we are diving into the most mind-bending, unbelievable yet completely true facts about the dinosaurs. Facts proving that these ancient rulers were far stranger and far more magnificent than any movie could ever portray. Let's start with a fact that sounds like a glitch in the Matrix. For the vast majority of their existence, dinosaurs lived in a world completely devoid of flowers and grass. If you look outside your window right now, green grass and blooming flowers are the baseline of our natural world. But Earth wasn't always this way. The reign of the dinosaurs began in the mid-Triassic period, roughly 230 million years ago. During the Triassic and the majority of the Jurassic periods, the continents were dominated by sprawling ferns, cycads, and massive conifers. Angiosperms, which are flowering plants, didn't evolve until around 130 million years ago. And grass? That didn't appear on Earth until roughly 100 million years ago. That means legendary iconic giants like the Stegosaurus, the Diplodocus, and the Allosaurus lived out their entire species' lifespans without ever seeing a single blade of grass or a blooming flower. If you dropped a Jurassic dinosaur into an average modern backyard, the plant life alone would look completely alien to it. Speaking of the Stegosaurus, that brings us to our next unbelievable reality: deep geologic time. Humans have a terrible habit of compressing the entire Mesozoic era into one generalized age of the dinosaurs. We like to imagine all these famous creatures hanging out together on the same prehistoric landscape, but the dinosaurs' reign lasted over 165 million years. Entire dynasties rose to power, evolved, and fossilized long before others took their first steps. Here is the ultimate timeline reality check. You, sitting here today watching this video, live closer in time to the Tyrannosaurus Rex than the T-Rex lived to the Stegosaurus. There is an incomprehensible 76 million year gap between Stegosaurus and T-Rex, but only a 66 million year gap between T-Rex and us. By the time the tyrant lizard king walked the earth, Stegosaurus bones were already ancient fossils. Furthermore, we often see the iconic T-Rex battling packs of velociraptors in pop culture. This is pure geographical fiction. The velociraptor was native to the ancient desert dunes of Asia, while the Tyrannosaurus was strictly a North American predator. They never met, and they never fought. Because dinosaurs lived for hundreds of millions of years, they had time to diversify into almost every ecological niche on the planet. But that makes our next true fact extremely jarring. In over 160 million years of dominance, no non-avian dinosaur ever became fully aquatic. Mammals eventually gave us whales, ancient reptiles gave us the terrifying mosasaurs. But dinosaurs never fully committed to the ocean. Scientists believe it comes down to a few distinct evolutionary roadblocks. First, many theropod dinosaurs had hollow, air-filled bones. This is great for running, but terrible for diving. If you tried to swim deep, you would constantly float back to the surface like a pool toy. Second, dinosaurs laid hard-shelled eggs requiring dry land to incubate. They couldn't give live birth in the open ocean. Finally, the waters were already occupied. if a dinosaur tried transitioning to an aquatic lifestyle, it would immediately face established apex marine predators like the plesiosaurs. While they never managed to conquer the oceans, they absolutely conquered the skies. And this leads to the most famous myth that is actually true. Dinosaurs never went extinct. In modern paleontology and taxonomy, birds are dinosaurs. They are theropods, sitting on the exact same family tree branch that gave us the fearsome raptors. To understand how wild this is, consider this. A modern chicken is more closely related to a Tyrannosaurus rex than a T-Rex is to an Allosaurus. While T-Rex and Allosaurus look like big, scary cousins, they belong to completely different evolutionary lineages. Birds, on the other hand, share dozens of skeletal traits with late-stage theropods, from wishbones to hollow air sacs to the precise microscopic structure of their feathers. The ultimate confirmation came in 2007 when researchers successfully sequenced a fragment of collagen protein preserved inside a 68-million-year-old T-Rex femur. When they compared that ancient sequence to modern animals, the closest genetic match was a chicken. So the next time you see a pigeon bobbing its head in the park, remember, you are looking at the most successful surviving lineage of the dinosaurs. Finally, let's talk about physical scale. Sometime in the 1990s, a counter-myth gained traction. People started claiming that the media exaggerated dinosaur sizes, and that the average dinosaur was actually only the size of a sheep or a dog. While tiny dinosaurs certainly existed, the idea that the group as a whole was mostly small is completely false. A recent meta-analysis of the global fossil record discovered that the median weight for a dinosaur was actually over 4 tons. That means the average dinosaur was roughly the mass of a modern adult Asian elephant. If you created a list of the 30 largest terrestrial animals to ever walk the earth, every single spot on that list would be occupied by a dinosaur. Even the absolute largest prehistoric land mammals don't break into the top 30. The true giants, the titanosaurs like Argentinosaurus, weighed upwards of 80 tons. A single leg bone from one of these behemoths is taller than a fully grown human. We still don't fully understand the biological mechanics that allowed flesh, bone, and blood to reach these gravitational limits without collapsing. The world of the dinosaurs is a place where reality constantly outshines the imagination. From phantom flowers and cosmic timelines to the chicken's terrifying ancestry, the truth about these prehistoric rulers proves that Earth's history is the greatest story ever told. Thank you for watching, and keep digging for the truth.